What's up, family? It's your boy. I'm a little tired tonight. I had another late night. I'm having too many late nights lately, to be honest with you. I gotta slow down. I'm having a little bit too much fun, but I'm in my happy phase of my journey, so I'm really enjoying it. So much so that I can barely talk English. But for this episode, I want to talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart. And I'm gonna try not to share too much, but I'll give y'all just enough so y'all can start making the right decisions. So today we're going to talk about threesomes. Let's get it. Alright, so look, let me be honest with y'all. If I had to count them, like in my personal life, I've probably had about 10 threesomes. Like, I've been very, very fortunate and very blessed. And when I say that to y'all, I don't say that in a braggadocious way. That's just been the journey I've taken, and I've been very fortunate to, have a few experiences. I hope that's the low end number, but we're going to go with that as the maximum number. But, I've been really, really fortunate with women, and, they've always shown me the right type of love, and I've always tried to give it back to the best of my ability. But, I was on the internet the other day, and I was looking around, and like when you go on certain sites, you see a lot of couples, like they're hunting for this threesome partner. They hunt for the unicorn, as they call them. And, this episode is really for both men and women out there. And I want to be straight up with y'all. Let me focus on the men first, right? So let's say you with your girl, and obviously as a man, you've been with your girl, you've been rocking with her, and, you want to explore a little bit. I'm going to be honest with you. You should not be having a threesome with your girl unless your girl is truly bisexual. And by bisexual, what I mean is that she is willing to go out and bring a girl home, right? Now, not for you, but at minimum for herself, and you're allowed to partake in that pleasure. Any other format is going to lead to your eventual demise as a man. Because you got to remember, a woman, and not all women, they're like computers, right? And all they do is collect data, but they're collecting data on you, right? So you can have a threesome with your girl, right? And she could be having a great time and everything goes well and everything's all love. But the reality is that let's say that relationship falls apart at a certain point for whatever reason. That's going to be a piece of the data that she's going to use against you in a way of how she sacrificed something for you, right? As if she wasn't coming in the process back when that happened. We're going to ignore that, right? And that's the hard reality of it, right? So, if you got the type of woman that you're talking her into it, and she wants to do it as a sacrifice for you, if you can't maintain that relationship on any level, then straight up, that's going to come back to bite you, right? There's no way around it. A woman will make that sacrifice for you, but at the end of the day, if that's not in her natural nature, it's probably not a good decision, right? So that's an aspect for the men. For the women, right? When you open up the threesome category, then what you're really opening is Pandora's box. So you gotta really be down and you gotta really be into women if you're gonna venture down that road. Because you may create something that he may not want to stop in the immediate future. And now that puts you in a position of pressure where you may have to keep doing something that you don't want to do, right? And now we have a real problem. Let me rephrase that. You have a real problem, and you may or may not express that to him. And if you don't express that to him, then obviously that resentment is building up and it's going to come back to bite you. You understand? So that's not really a road that you should venture down. Now, collectively. So let's say y'all got all those issues squared away, right? And, you guys decide that you want to do it, right? Then what you should be looking at is the time that you guys have invested in each other, in addition to the level of communication, honest communication, brutally honest communication that you guys have established so you guys could communicate after the fact if there are any issues. Now, fellas, the chances of there being issues after a threesome are pretty high because women are sensitive. And if you even begin to look like you are enjoying it a bit too much, she's probably going to feel a way. You understand? Right? So you got to be really cautious of that. And more importantly, you got to have a level of communication with your woman that can help you navigate that difficult course that y'all are gonna go down. And y'all got to look at all the data of your relationship and collectively come together and make a decision that makes sense for both parties. If it only makes sense for one party, then you can't do it at all, because it's going to be the first fracture or the second or third, depending on how many fractures you guys have already accumulated in your relationship. But if it's the first one, I promise you it's eventually going to lead to a break. And your girl is really going to use that against you at a certain point in time. So now let's say you're single, right? And you have an opportunity for a threesome. That's totally different. You can live your life and do it how you want to. But I'll give y'all a little story, right? So I would say this is probably about maybe a year ago. So it's kind of recent. And I had these two chicks that probably stayed with me for like 2 weeks, right? And they were bad, right? And it was, you know, it was ecstasy. Like, it was a very nice time. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had a very good time. And it was so comfortable. Like, I can't stress that to you enough. You know, you can be in bed, you know, with both shorties. Somebody's hungry, one shorty will get up, you know what I'm saying, and make some food and bring it back. Or hell, even I'll get up and cook because I can't cook, you know, and make sure that, you know, the ladies are fed. You know, and that was a really, really nice time. The problem with that is that I remember probably like on day 10, right? And this is day 10 of just like, I mean, listen, I don't know if heaven's on earth, but if it was definitely in the crib for at least 2 weeks. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, right? But I remember like being on day 10, like, you know, we in bed and we chilling, and I'm just sitting there and I'm kind of in my own zone at this point. And they like, yo, you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Everything's all love. But really what was happening in my own head, I was like, yo, homie, you're not rich enough to be living like this. Because it was too comfortable. Like, you know, I'm here chilling with two females, man, and it's all good. But my motivation to grind and to hustle and do what I do, it was just fading. Like, nigga, I didn't want to do shit. Like, for real. Like, that's all I wanted to do. And, you know, we would chill, and it was a wonderful, wonderful time. But at a certain point, I had to look in the mirror and be like, listen, player, you're not there yet, right? You may be close, but you're not there yet, right? And, you know, over the next 3 days, you know, I began to have that conversation. I was like, listen, we got to stop this because this is too good for your boy, you know, and they were kind of like in a state of shock that I would feel that way, but I'm a really honest cat, you know what I mean? And I don't hide my feelings, I don't hide whatever, right? Because I ain't afraid of no truth, and I definitely ain't afraid of nobody being with me or not being with me. That's not my fear in life, you know what I'm saying? You know, so I had to really bring that to an end so I can have the energy and the time to keep focusing on my own personal growth and my own personal journey. You know, this video kind of got inspired based on, you know, just something I saw online. I was like, all right, let me speak about this. And, you know, because I know that people going through it, or I know there's people considering it. And again, the best time to do it, you know, is if you're single, whether you're male or female, and that's how you want to get down, that's okay. But if you're in a relationship, like, and you value that relationship, then you have to understand that real talk, with you recognize it on that day, that night, or that moment, you are putting everything in your future at risk, because at minimum, you are going to challenge somebody's insecurities, and that festers and that grows. And when that grows, eventually that can lead to resentment. You know what I'm saying? So think deeply if you want to go down that road, because yeah, you're gonna have a good night or two, but at the end of the day, that good night or two can catch back up to y'all and really ruin something that y'all have worked so hard to establish. You understand? So I hope that makes sense, and I hope y'all take my advice. But if you don't, have a good time, have a good night, and I wish you the best of luck.